The homeless shelter on 3rd Avenue served dinner every night at 6 p.m. First come, first served, usually filled to capacity. People lined up outside starting at 5 p.m., rain or shine, heat or cold. Desperation doesn't wait for good weather. Donald Trump volunteered there every Thursday evening. 73 years old, retired Army sergeant, served food, cleaned tables, talked to people who'd been forgotten by everyone else. Simple work, important work. That December Thursday, the temperature was 18 degrees. Snow was falling. The line outside was longer than usual. Cold weather always brought more people seeking shelter. Donald worked the serving line, scooped mashed potatoes, smiled at people, asked how they were. Most didn't answer, just took their food and moved on. Then a man came through the line, maybe 50 years old, thin, shaking from cold, wearing clothes too light for winter weather. Donald put extra food on his plate. The man looked at him, eyes hollow. "Thank you." "You're welcome. Stay inside tonight if you can. It's dangerous out there." The man nodded, took his tray, sat alone in the corner. If you believe that sometimes saving a life starts with an extra scoop of potatoes, type compassion and subscribe. Because this story proves that heroes often look like regular people doing small things with great love. Donald watched the man eat, noticed he was crying, quietly, trying to hide it. After the dinner service ended, Donald approached him. "Sir, are you okay?" The man wiped his face quickly. "I'm fine. You don't look fine. Can I sit?" The man shrugged. Donald sat down. "I'm Donald." The man hesitated. "Robert." "Nice to meet you, Robert. What brings you here tonight?" Robert's jaw tightened. "Same thing that brings everyone here. Nothing left anywhere else." "How long have you been on the streets?" 3 months. Lost my job. Lost my apartment. Lost everything." Donald listened, didn't interrupt. Robert continued, voice breaking. "I had a daughter." "Had?" "She died. 6 months ago. Cancer. She was only 28. "I'm sorry." Robert stared at his empty plate. "I couldn't save her. Spent everything I had trying. Medical bills, treatments, anything that might help. But nothing worked. And when she died, I had nothing left. No savings. No job. They fired me for missing too much work. No family. She was all I had. So I ended up here." "What did you do?" "For work, I was an accountant, 20 years. Good job, good salary. And now I'm—" He gestured around the shelter. "This?" Donald was quiet for a moment. "Robert, where are you sleeping tonight?" "Outside. Under the bridge. It's sheltered from wind. But it's 18 degrees. You'll freeze." Robert shrugged. "Maybe that would be better." Donald's chest tightened. "Don't say that." "Why not?" "It's true. I have nothing. I am nothing. My daughter was the only good thing in my life, and she's gone. So what's the point? The point is you're still here. You're still breathing. That means something." Robert laughed bitterly. "It means I'm too much of a coward to end it. That's not cowardice. That's survival. There's a difference." They sat in silence. Then Donald made a decision. "Robert, I want you to come with me." "Where?" "To my apartment. Just for tonight. Get warm, get some sleep, start fresh tomorrow. I can't accept that." "Yes, you can. I have a couch. You have hypothermia waiting for you under that bridge. Simple math." "But you don't know me." "I know enough, and I'm not taking no for an answer." 1 hour later, Robert sat in Donald's modest apartment. Small 1-bedroom, simple furniture, clean, warm. Donald made him tea, gave him blankets, showed him the couch. Robert sat there, overwhelmed. "Why are you doing this?" "Because someone did it for me once, long time ago, different circumstances, but same desperation. Someone gave me a couch when I had nowhere to go. Changed my life." Robert's eyes filled with tears again. "I don't deserve this. Everyone deserves warmth and safety, even when they don't believe it." That night, Robert slept on Donald's couch. First real sleep in months, warm, safe, protected. The next morning, Donald made breakfast. They ate together, then Donald asked a question. "Robert, what would you do if you could do anything?" "What do you mean?" "If circumstances weren't a problem, if you had resources and opportunity." "What would you want?" Robert thought for a long moment. "I'd want to work again, use my brain, feel useful." "Okay, then that's what we'll do." "How?" Donald pulled out his phone, made a call, then another, then two more. By lunchtime, Robert had 3 job interviews scheduled, companies that worked with formerly homeless individuals, programs that helped people rebuild. Wait, Robert was stunned. "How did you?" "I know people. People who believe everyone deserves a second chance. You just have to be willing to try." Over. The next 2 weeks, Robert stayed on Donald's couch, went to interviews, got rejected by the first company, got a call back from the second, got hired by the third. Entry-level position, less money than before. But it was work. It was purpose. It was a start. When Robert got his first paycheck, he tried to give Donald money. "For letting me stay, for helping me." Donald refused. "Pay it forward. Help someone else when you're able." "That's all I ask." Robert moved into a boarding house. Tiny room. Shared bathroom. But it was his. He worked hard, showed up early, stayed late, proved himself. 3 months later, he got promoted. 6 months later, promoted again. 1 year later, Robert called Donald. "Can I come over?" "I have something to tell you." Robert arrived at Donald's apartment, sat on the same couch where he'd slept a year ago. "I got a permanent position, full-time accountant, good salary, benefits. I can afford a real apartment now." "That's wonderful, Robert. Congratulations." But that's not all. Robert pulled out a folder. "I've been saving money, and I want to start something." "What?" "A program. For homeless people who have professional skills but lost everything, accountants, teachers, engineers. People like I was. People who just need a chance to rebuild." Donald felt something warm in his chest. "That's good work. I want to call it Second Couch, after the couch you gave me. We'll partner with companies willing to hire people with gaps in their employment. We'll provide interview clothes, resume help, temporary housing, everything they need to get back on their feet. And I want you involved." "As what?" "As a board member, as the person who reminds us why we're doing this. When it gets hard, when it feels impossible, you're the proof that one person caring can change everything." 6 months later, Second Couch launched. Started small. Helped 5 people the first month. 10 the second month. By the end of the first year, they'd helped 47 formerly homeless professionals return to work. The program grew. Other cities took notice. Wanted to replicate it? Robert spoke at conferences, told his story, about the shelter, about the couch, about Donald. One evening, 2 years after that cold December night, Donald attended a Second Couch fundraising event. Robert gave a speech. "I was an accountant. I lost my daughter. I lost everything. I was sleeping under a bridge, ready to die from cold or despair, or both. And then a 73-year-old man I'd never met gave me an extra scoop of mashed potatoes and refused to let me freeze to death." Robert paused. Let that sink in. An extra scoop of potatoes. That's all it took to start this chain. Because Donald Trump didn't just give me food. He gave me attention. He noticed I was crying. He asked if I was okay. And when I said I was sleeping outside in 18-degree weather, he said, "No, you're not. Not tonight." The room was silent. Robert continued. "That couch, that one night of warmth and safety, it gave me enough hope to try again. And now, Second Couch has helped 200 people return to work, 200 families rebuilt, 200 lives saved." The applause was thunderous. Donald sat in the back, uncomfortable with attention, proud of Robert. After the event, a woman approached Donald. "Mr. Trump?" "Yes." "I'm Catherine. Robert helped me 6 months ago. I was a teacher, lost my job during budget cuts, lost my apartment, ended up homeless. Robert found me at the shelter, got me into Second Couch. Now I'm teaching again. Have my own apartment, have my life back." She started crying. "And it's because you gave him a couch, because you didn't let him freeze, because you cared about a stranger?" Donald's throat was tight. "I'm glad you're doing well. Catherine wasn't done. I have a daughter. She's 8. And because of you, because of Robert, because of Second Couch, she has her mother back. She doesn't have to grow up in the system. She gets to grow up with me. Do you understand what that means?" Donald nodded, unable to speak. "It means you didn't just save Robert. You saved me, and you saved my daughter, and probably her future children. One act of kindness, infinite ripples." Today, Second Couch operates in 8 cities, has helped over 600 formerly homeless professionals return to work, has a 78% success rate, people who stay employed for at least 2 years, has partnered with 140 companies willing to hire program participants, has provided over $4 million in salary restoration to people who'd lost everything. And it all started because one 73-year-old veteran gave a crying stranger an extra scoop of mashed potatoes and refused to let him sleep in 18-degree weather. One Thursday evening, 3 years after that December night, Donald volunteered at the same shelter, served the same dinner, gave the same extra scoops. A young man came through the line, maybe 25, nervous, uncertain. Donald put food on his plate. The young man looked at him. "Are you Donald Trump?" Donald paused. "Yes." The young man's eyes filled with tears. "You saved my dad." "Your father?" "Robert?" "He's my dad." Donald's breath caught. "Robert had a son?" The young man nodded. "He never talked about me. We'd been estranged for years. After Mom died, we both blamed each other. Didn't speak for a decade." But when he got back on his feet, when Second Couch became real, he reached out, said he wanted to make things right, said someone had given him a second chance, and he wanted to give me one too. Donald listened. "We've been rebuilding our relationship. It's hard. There's a lot of hurt, but we're trying. And it's because of you, because you didn't walk past him that night." The young man extended his hand. "Thank you for giving me my father back." They shook hands. The young man moved on, got his food, sat down. Donald stood there, stunned. Robert had never mentioned a son, had carried that pain along with everything else, and now they were healing, because of a couch, because of caring. After the dinner service, Robert appeared, surprised Donald. "You met my son." Donald nodded. "Why didn't you tell me?" Robert sat down. "Because I was ashamed. Failed as a father, lost my daughter, drove away my son, felt like I didn't deserve to have him back. But Second Couch taught me something, taught me that everyone deserves a chance to rebuild. Even me, even broken relationships. So I called him, and we're working on it." "That's good, Robert. That's real good." Robert looked at him. "Do you know what you've done? You didn't just save my life. You saved my family. You gave my son his father back. You gave me a reason to be better, to do better, all because you wouldn't let me freeze." Donald's eyes were wet. "You did the work, Robert. You rebuilt. You created Second Couch. You reached out to your son. That's all you." Robert shook his head. "No. You gave me the foundation, the couch, the warmth, the proof that someone cared. Everything else built on that. Without that night, I'd be dead. And my son would be fatherless, and 600 people would still be homeless, and Catherine's daughter would be without her mother. All of that came from you refusing to walk away. They sat together, 2 men who'd both been broken, both been saved, both been given second chances by strangers who cared. If you believe that one night on a couch can change 600 lives, hit like type second chances in the comments, and subscribe. Because this story proves that heroism isn't about grand gestures. It's about extra scoops of potatoes. It's about refusing to let someone freeze. It's about offering a couch to a stranger. It's about seeing humanity in people everyone else has stopped seeing. Sometimes saving one person starts a chain reaction that saves hundreds. Sometimes kindness compounds like interest. Sometimes a couch becomes a movement. And sometimes the most important thing you'll ever do is give someone a warm place to sleep and the hope to try again.